Thank you for joining us for Season 2 of our district podcast, Ahoy, Minnetonka. We're beginning the year with a series of back-to-school episodes. Thank you for tuning in. For this segment, we'll be talking with the principal and an assistant principal from one of our middle schools. Back to school is just days away, and I know families and students get both anxious and excited about the start of the school year. Our guests today will help you set up for success, sharing things to keep in mind and take to heart so you can feel ready to begin a great year in the Minnetonka schools. Joining me today are Freya Schirmacher and Andrea Hoffmann from Minnetonka Middle School West leadership team. Thank you both for joining me here today. Please take a minute to introduce yourself, your role, and how long you've been in Minnetonka. Freya?
Sure. I'm Freya Schirmacher. I have been the principal of Minnetonka. I'm starting my Minnetonka Middle School West, starting my 5th year at MMW. Prior to that, I was an assistant principal at Minnetonka High School for 3 years. My background is in special education and reading. So happy to be here.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm Andrea Hoffmann. I'm the assistant principal at Minnetonka Middle School West. And I've been in the district, this will be my 22nd year in the district in Minnetonka. I started as a teacher in Minnetonka. I've taught both elementary and middle school. I taught middle school science. And then was a tech coach for a number of years before going into administration. Was at Groveland Elementary as an administrator, and now I'm here at MMW.
Awesome. And you have another member of your team who couldn't make it.
Yes, we do. We're so excited to have Farhan Mohamud join us as another assistant principal. He couldn't make it here today, but he's been working closely with us here this August, getting to know the building, really has an incredible expertise in special education, having fun connecting with families and staff as well. So
Awesome. We look forward to meeting him in the new school year.
yes, absolutely.
Freya, I'm going to start with you. One of the things that people still struggle with is what happens in a school from when the kids leave in June until they return in August. What are you working on to prepare for the school year?
It's interesting because you'd think we have all of these empty days just to be leisurely and enjoy the beautiful days. We have been so busy this summer, and it just flies by. Essentially, you know, one of the things I love about school and education is that every year you get a fresh start, a new opportunity. You finish the school year, you spend quite a bit of time reflecting on how did it go, how can we improve, what do we need to learn more about, what is the research going to tell us about middle school kids. So Andrea and I have been working really hard on kind of just building up our knowledge base of how to better support students and making our plans of action this year. It's like we have a lot of time of planning, and then now is the time for action. It's like go time. So all of our plans come into reality. Teachers are starting to come in. I've been talking to families. Students are coming in, and we're starting to see the reality of our work. So to me, this is the most exciting time of the year.
So you do have counselors that join you in the summer. When do they come back?
They are back. They came back around 2 weeks before the start of the school year. They start connecting with students, working on any kind of special information that they need, scheduling, special requests. So they've been really busy doing a lot of tours as well for new families.
Right. Well, one of the things that I think families are interested in is how do we welcome kids to middle school? I was just talking to some community members who have 6th graders coming to MMW, a little bit of anxiety. And I understand that earlier today you had your 6th grade welcome event. What does that all entail? Andrea?
Well, we really want our 6th graders to feel welcome, right? And one of the most fresh things on their mind is what does the building feel like? What does it look like? How am I gonna get from one place to another? And our 6th grade orientation is really centered around coming together as a community, welcoming them to our community, and just getting them acclimated with our building. It's a big building. They're coming from 3 different elementary schools in our district and from outside of our district too. So we want them to have a chance to get to know other kids. We have our junior first mates who really lead the day with the kids. About 2 or 3 junior first mates kick off every group, and they walk them through a tour of the building. They walk them through some fun activities, get to know you activities, so that kids just get a chance to meet other 6th graders that are coming to the building, but also have that first time in our building as a fun, exciting, really low stress in terms of, they're just following along. They don't have to find any schedules or anything like that. They're just having fun.
It's really unhurried. Like some of the feedback I get from students and families is one of the number one biggest concerns is, can I open my locker? What's my locker combination? Yes. So today they get to practice opening a locker. There's no pressure. There's nobody in the hall with them. They just get time to kind of get used to the lay of the land. And it was so fun seeing our 8th grade students, our junior first mates, really take the lead with these 6th graders. You know, our 8th grade students as junior first mates, they know what it's like. They've been in those shoes as walking in the door, and the amount of support and encouragement and just enthusiasm that our 8th graders had. It is so fun to see those connections. We just have such amazing leaders in the school. That was really fun.
So we talked about 6th grade orientation, but I'm sure for parents who have a new 7th grader or a new 8th grader or even 6th graders who are still a little anxious, what else happens to welcome students back to the start of the school year?
Well, we have a formal event on Wednesday, the 28th, which is our back to school night. So we set aside 2 hours just for 6th graders. So 6th graders and their families can come in, get their schedule, meet their teachers, get their picture taken, again, practice their locker, that's a priority. And then from 6 to 8, 7th and 8th graders can come in as well and have the same opportunity to walk their schedule, meet their teachers, picture taken. Really, too, it's just to reconnect. That social piece so the students can see their friends. A lot of them haven't seen their friends over the summer. So just a chance to reconnect. There's a lot of energy and enthusiasm. We have additional time set aside on Thursday as well in the morning where it's kind of a drop-in open house, we call it, where students can just come in with their schedule and just walk around. Just by themselves. There's no teachers in the building at that point. They're at a training. So it's really just a chance to get comfortable.
Okay. So if as parents between now and the first day of school have questions, who's the best person to call at school?
I think their counselor is a great first contact. So our counselors have an alphabetic split for their services to the students and the families, and the counselor is really that great first stop for families. They can help ease the mind of our parents, they can help ease the mind of our students, but they're also just so informative about the school. They know the ins and outs. Some of them have had their own kids go through the school. They know what's going on in the minds of the kids and can help relay that to the parents too.
We know that with some of maybe the stress or anxiety of starting a new school year, the antidote to that stress is information. So we try to be really clear with the communication that we send home to families, just outlining almost everything you need to know, from iPads to bi-ed uniforms to lockers to everything, to repeat that information multiple times and kind of say, hey, print this, put it on your fridge, because you're going to want to go to some of this information really throughout the whole school year. In addition to that, however, we just want to make sure that families know that they can really reach out to us at any time, ask questions. Their counselors, like Andrea said, are really a great resource. There's a lot of questions when you're transitioning 5th grader to 6th grade. There's a huge leap in independence. Those 6th graders have a lot of opportunity to kind of have more autonomy, but with that comes a little bit of fear of release. But we're with you, side by, at your side to kind of help guide that process. So I love connecting with families. Throughout the summer, I've been meeting with families. Some have come in for tours just to kind of get a little head start on what the school's like, and we welcome that anytime.
So one of the things we tell all of our students, middle school and high school, is get involved. Is middle school a spot where you need to sign up for stuff before school starts, or are there opportunities all year long to get involved?
Yeah, we have some that start before school. We have some of our fall sports that do sign up before school, but a lot of our activities really start kind of in that October timeframe. We really want students to be able to get that advertising and know what's out there. So a lot of our activities start around October. And it gets us a chance to get to know the building, get to know the kids, and then start to see what's out there. What's out there for me? What do I want to be involved in? Is it an activity, a sport, maybe all of the above, right? And it really goes through the cycles of our fall sports. We've got some winter activities and sports that they can do as well, and then our spring. So we follow similar things to the high school with fall, winter, and spring, but we have activities that run throughout the whole year too.
And the nice thing about middle school sports is they are open for everybody. There is no tryout. You can join cross country, tennis, volleyball, whatever our team is. We really welcome. It's the chance to try things out in a low pressure way. It's really to be with your friends, have fun, learn a new skill. And there is no time frame. If you said, oh no, it's November, I want to join volleyball, you still have that opportunity. It's very forgiving and very inclusive. We want everyone to have at least one activity where they feel a sense of connection.
And there's really an activity for anyone, right? So we have, if you're not into some sports, we've got quite a few activities. We have an unplugged gaming club that's really fun. And kids do any and all unplugged gaming. You know, we do D&D or Pokemon or Magic or whatever is unplugged.
Yeah.
But we have some Minecraft clubs. We have different activities like yearbook or Best Buddies, all sorts of fun things that many different ways you can get involved. And some kids do before and after school activities for us.
Well, so I'm going to transition. You said something, Best Buddies. I know that you have an impressive Best Buddies Club. Most people might not know what a Best Buddies Club is. That's all part of your welcoming and belonging efforts. Freya, can you talk about what is Best Buddies and how does that foster the welcoming and belonging? And then maybe dive into some of the other activities you both do for welcoming and belonging.
Right, Best Buddies is one of our largest clubs. I think there's close to 200 students that are involved in Best
amazing.
Buddies. And it's an opportunity. The club is designed to build intentional friendships for people of all abilities. So it's structured activities to, from crafts to sports to dances to bowling, things like that, so that students can build connections, whether you have a disability, you don't have a disability, but it's to find some common friendship opportunities. And that's just something we're really proud of at our school. This year we're actually starting a Best Buddies advisory so that students will be able to be in an advisory class with and without students with disabilities, which is a really cool opportunity, I think.
Every parent wants, when they send their children to school, they hope that someone knows their student's name and looks forward to seeing them. And what I've seen from Best Buddies is it creates that environment, which has just been really impressive.
And to me, what I love is that it's student-led. I mean, these aren't adults forcing students to make connections. One of my thoughts is that, never underestimate a middle schooler with purpose, because they will get it done. And they have so much caring and empathy and just energy and enthusiasm to connect and make friends and find common connections. So our students have really led that program, which is really impressive. But I almost feel like that filters into any activity. We want our students to belong. We want our students to feel like they have a connection point. Every student should have at least one activity or connection point and at least one trusted adult to kind of help them. So that's just something we're really proud of, but it spreads out to other things beyond Best Buddies as well.
Now you've done some intentional work about making sure that every student has a trusted adult. How do you keep track of 1,300 students to monitor who has a connection and who doesn't? Andrea?
We start with our Search Institute. We do a survey with our students and really try to get a feel for what's making them tick and the feel for the building. How do they feel about the adults that care for them? That gives us a good pulse. That gets us our start. Beyond that, we like to do student interviews because that gives us that narrative to really understand, okay, you may have answered this way to say, this is how you feel about belonging, but tell us more. We're really trying to dig into what does that student experience look like and really be able to share that with our staff too, to celebrate our wins and to know where we can continue to grow. We continue to work with our students that then we see some need. We have students take a SABRS, My SABRS survey as well. That helps us identify some students of need as well. And we have a mentor program with our teachers. So our teachers, our counselors, any adult really in the building can take on a mentorship role to be that one person to really make a connection with the kids that we're really, maybe struggling to make some connections with other adults.
Yeah, I having heard your students talk about their connectedness and at board meetings and hearing your staff being intentional, I'm not surprised that a very high percentage of our students report they have a trusted adult at school and it's a caring environment. For our parents, if you have any advice, if I have a returning student or a new student, if you had any advice for them about starting a school year, what would it be?
That's a great question. My advice is, first of all, understand your middle schooler, because the behaviors that may be new or frustrating or confusing might just be absolutely 100% developmentally appropriate for middle schoolers. We've been doing a lot of work this summer with this, and one of the big takeaways I've had about our middle schoolers is that the social drive in a middle schooler, out is going to outweigh any other part of their life. So if you sense your student pulling away from you and really moving to their friends, absolutely normal, appropriate. If they're a little bit like maybe irritable with you or maybe unexpectedly distant, that's part of their developmental process. So as a parent, my advice for all parents is to give your student time to be present. Those few moments, maybe when you're driving in the car, that's when you can maybe have those side-to-side conversations. It's okay, silence is okay. Your physical and emotional presence is the most important thing you can do for your middle schooler.
Anything else, Andrea?
I'm a incoming sixth grade parent myself, and so I'm feeling a lot of those things at myself at my own house, and I can feel, just putting my own middle school educator hat on and really reminding myself too that yes, it's that time. I know that our parents are feeling that same way, and if they have questions, this is where we love to talk with parents. If they're thinking, is this out of the norm? We want to be able to help guide them as well, to know it's probably not. Most of that is acceptable for where they are developmentally. I encourage them to continue talking, ask those open-ended questions, not just the, how was school today, yes or, good or bad, but tell me a little bit, what was your favorite day, your favorite part of the day? What was your most frustrating part of the day? And really get to know their kids that way, so that they're not just, saying good, bad, whatever. We want to know. Right. They're eager to share when we ask them the right questions. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, as we're about to wrap up, what are you looking forward to most right now?
I'm looking forward to just those smiles coming through the door, and everyone, finding their place and really finding themselves. It might be in some academics, it might be in an activity or a sport, but those smiling faces, really just being able to figure out who they are, that's what we love.
Yeah, one of the lessons I've learned, and I learned last year, is I said it early, never underestimate a middle schooler, because they will do amazing things. They have such a strong sense of purpose and justice and friendship. So I'm excited just to get to know these kids and help nurture that passion. And I'm excited just to get our teachers back in the building. I can't wait to reconnect. They're doing so much incredible work with these kids. So that's what fills my bucket, those little conversations with staff and students. So I can't wait to get a full, 1,300 kids back in the building.
Right. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you both for giving up a little time to provide some insight for parents who are anxious about school to start or excited about school to start, and some tips. I'm impressed with all the work you're doing to help our kids feel welcome coming back to school and connected during the year. That's so important. And I want to thank you for joining us for these back to school episodes of Ahoy Minnetonka. As you know, we've done one for every level of our school system to meet the needs of all of our parents and students coming back to school. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you around.